you ready?
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
I was right.
Let's go!
I'm the best.
And here are your hosts, Jessica Town and Rob Lange.
You're a jackass.
Embrace the madness.
What is up, everybody? Welcome in to episode 91
91.
of The Madness. We are thrilled to be here with you on this day before the 4th of July. For those of you watching us live on YouTube, for those of you catching the podcast on Friday, it will be the day after 4th of July. Regardless, we hope you enjoy your 4th of July holiday whenever you're hearing this. But we have a lot to talk to you about. Of course, with me, as always, is the wonderful and newly apartmented
Yep, that's me.
Jessica Town. Jess, how's your week?
Long, exhausting. Everything hurts.
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
So how much actual movement? Because when we were here last week, you said you were going to try and avoid moving as much as you could.
What do you mean?
Like physically.
Well, at that point, my brother was still supposed to come help us.
Oh, the brother backed out.
He did not. It's not his fault.
Okay.
So he's been working for one of his teammates at F&M. His dad owns a law firm in the city and offered him a summer internship, and he was just supposed to work the month of June, and they asked him to do one more week. So he was supposed to be done. He was only working Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So he was like, "Oh, I'll be done. I'll come help you." And then he was like, "I can't help you. I'm working that week now." So I was like, "Okay." And then and it's so unfortunate because our best friend who would have helped us, he was away.
Right.
So he didn't
He
come
was
back.
in Italy, right?
Yep, he came back yesterday. So he came over for dinner
Okay.
yesterday. And he did help. He was like moving stuff around, helping Joe put stuff up and taking boxes out to the trash can and all that kind of good stuff. But so we then asked his two cousins who he lives with, and they aren't working later this week, so they had to work earlier in the week. They usually have off Monday, Tuesday, so they couldn't come. And then the way timing worked out, one other cousin couldn't help us. So we called my mom, and we were like, "Help. Come, help, please help." And then actually it took us so long that Andrew actually swung by on his way home from work and helped get the final big step in, which actually ended up being huge because of the fact that the last couple things in the back of the truck were like two big dressers, a really heavy table, the couches. So having him able to help, because my mom has a torn rotator cuff in her shoulder, so she's got a really bad shoulder. So and we're up a flight of steps, so it was just, we had a 15-foot U-Haul that we packed. Like, it was full. It was extremely full.
Yeah.
So it was a lot. It took us a while. We had everything ready in the morning, so we picked up the U-Haul, and Monday it was actually not super hot or humid. Monday was not too bad. Like, until noon, it was it was cool outside.
Yes.
So it wasn't too bad. We packed the stuff at my house, went to his house, packed his up, and then went to our apartment and started unloading. And we finished, I think we moved the last item in around 5 o'clock. We started it, we left the house at 8 to go.
Fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a long day. And then from there, we just unpacked until probably midnight. And then for some reason, we were, up and ready to go 6 a.m. Both our bodies woke us up on Tuesday. And we're like, all right, let's get this done. And we finished. By last night, we finished almost everything. We just have a few more things to do. But we have all of our pictures hung and all that kind of stuff.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
That's impressive because that could take some time.
Yeah, so while we were just kind of we were transitioning stuff, the first night he started putting his clothes away while I unpacked the bathroom and our towels and everything and put the shower curtain up, and then I moved on to the kitchen and unpacked all that, and then he put the living room and dining room together while I was unpacking my clothes last night, and then we kind of finished that up. I do actually have a suitcase full of stuff that I'm taking back to my parents' house though, because there was just I thought when I started packing I did the "have you worn this in the last year" test. I didn't do it well enough. I failed the test.
Kind of like you would have failed the Gatsby test if I gave you that.
That's literally not even true. That actually just came up in my time hop the other day.
Did it really?
It did, because I read it, it actually just came up and I was laughing.
Oh,
but yeah,
man.
so I have I think I was like, I haven't worn this, but you never know when I could. And I last night went there and was like, I'm not wearing this. I'm not wearing this. I'm not wearing this. I'm not wearing this. And just got it together. So
there you go.
It was a long 3 days, but we did it.
It was a long 3 days, and obviously.
And there was a lot of things going on Monday while I was trying to do it. My phone was going.
As I was getting at, Sunday kind of started our secondary Christmas season, our Christmas almost in July, as you would say.
Yes.
And that was the NBA free agency with a lot of questions looming, a lot of things out there, things we talked about, things we didn't talk about, things that we just never thought really were real that became super real super fast. And our 76ers found themselves right smack in the middle of it all. Whether you looked at it as good or bad or whatever, because I know a lot of people have differing opinions on this. The Sixers, look, Elton Brand said, it'll all make sense soon. And to a certain extent,
He backed that up.
he backed that up.
He backed it up.
I mean, he absolutely backed it up.
backed it up.
I was so confident about it. My first Wildfire Radio or SportsRadio.com article was about the fact that he backed it up. And Jess, it was amazing. 30 seconds into that article being up, how I had my first headline reader who did not actually read the article just start ripping into how we can praise Elton Brand. Where if you go in and read the article, I praised him for backing up what he said. But I made it very clear early in the article. I said, I'm not here right now to tell you if these moves were great or not. I'm here to tell you they were moves that obviously needed to be made in Elton Brand's mind. And there, let's, what do you think, Jess? How are we feeling here today as we record this podcast on Wednesday?
Honestly, I feel pretty good. I think, we talked about how if, one of those big names that the Sixers acquired in a trade, one of them needed to stay here. It would have been, we talked about how it would have been a complete failure if we lost both of them.
Yes.
I never thought we were going to lose both. That was never a thought that crossed my mind. One of them was going to stay here. Honestly, the more I think about it, I think the better fit stayed. And part of that, my reasoning there is based on kind of what has transpired since that was the first thing that came out. I think it was a very well-known fact that Kyrie was going to the Nets. That was never a question. I think that more people knew that Kevin Durant was going to go to the Nets than we think. I think
That's what it sounds like now.
I think the NBA front offices, I think the GMs, I think they had a pretty good idea that is where Kevin Durant was going. With that, the only other team that was rumored to have any sort of high-level interest in Tobias was the Nets. He's from there. That was the other team that was possibly the competitor. So, when KD broke, so that was a known thing, and I think people inside the NBA, also players, I think they probably had a good idea about that as well. So I think that's why Tobias's meeting was right at the beginning. They were like, let's iron this thing out. That's what we're going to do. I also think that based on that, and then the extension of Ben Simmons that is following, I think Ben and Joel's preferences had a good amount to do with what was done. And I think because I read an article a couple weeks before free agency started that was talking about how Ben didn't dislike Jimmy. He didn't dislike playing with Jimmy, but he didn't love the idea of if they were to re-sign Jimmy, what that was going to mean for his role within the offense right away and for the current period of time. Mixing it in here and there in playoffs and stuff to give different looks, that was one thing. But for an entire season, long-term, adjusting the role there, that didn't make Ben happy. And at the end of the day, who are the two people that they're looking to make happy and build this franchise around? It's Ben and Joel. Yeah. So with that, they probably took that into consideration and said, listen, if these two guys, their preferences, they want to keep Tobias Harris and they don't love playing with Jimmy Butler, we're going to make Tobias Harris our priority and fill out this team around them by getting the Al Horfords and re-signing Mike Scott and doing the other moves that they did. So I think that has a lot more to do with it, which, again, is it is not great for the Ben haters in the world, and not great for Twitter until the season starts. But
Yeah, they're gonna be really annoying.
Yeah,
for the next
but
few months.
I think that has a big part to do with it, and the fact that we were able to get something good in return for Jimmy Butler. I think that's pretty decent.
So I look at it a little bit differently. I mean, I think that all that was definitely stuff that was talked about in the inner circle of Elton Brand and the management team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was made very clear to them that Jimmy had aspirations of being the guy. That Jimmy could tell us till he was blue in the face that he wanted to win and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But the actions that took place tell us something a little bit different. You hear people on TV that, were close to Jimmy Butler talk about the idea that, because of the upbringing Jimmy had and being a late first round pick, he was always somebody that felt he had a chip on his shoulder and he wanted to prove. And there's an idea that it's not that he hated it here,
I don't think he did.
but he wanted to be the guy. And his decision to say, I'm going to go live in Miami where I love the weather, right? Think about back to that really weird press conference with him and Tobias.
That popped up, and now
Yeah,
it's like
they're talking about the weather. But I think Jimmy wanted to be the guy. I think that Elton Brand probably had a conversation with him that went, look, if you want to be here, here's the max. We're going to give it to you because we think you're that integral to this team, to the makeup of this team. But if you don't want to be here, hey, let's try and help each other out. And honestly, like, here's the deal.
Here's the thing. I don't think they didn't offer it to him, but I think that they took it into consideration. You saw who they met with first, and you saw who they handled first, and you saw what they got done first.
Right.
That, I think, was the priority, and also trying to keep Jimmy as well. But
The question to me became, though, did they make sure that Tobias was a priority when they knew chances of keeping Jimmy were slim? Because what you had heard from the time we went off the air last week until free agency, I got nervous about Tobias because of all the teams you started hearing that were going to have interest in him, in the Dallas and Brooklyn and Indiana and even the Clippers, and bringing him back. I started to get nervous, like, you're going to have to overpay.
I wasn't nervous.
Tobias.
I wasn't nervous because I thought that Tobias really wanted to be here. I think he really enjoyed it because, and we talked about this right when they traded for him and when we were talking about the potential of him re-signing here over the summer. He's been in the league for 8 years and he's been on 5 different teams. I mean, you could consider.
I know, he wants the consistency. He wants the consistency.
Not even just consistency. You could count 6 because he technically wasn't drafted by the Bucks.
Right.
So he had always been the guy that was, we want this guy, we'll give you this in return. He was the dispensable guy that made a trade go. The Sixers were the first team to make a trade because they wanted him. It wasn't, this is what we'll give you in return. Yes, we approve this trade. They wanted Tobias, and Tobias was the headline of that trade.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think that is something that stuck with Tobias, was the fact that, hey, these guys really want me here. And keep in mind, they didn't even have to give him the full max because he kept $10 million aside out of his contract so they could bring back Mike Scott. Right.
And look, there's a lot that goes into the fact that Tobias wanted to be here, and I'm happy. But I just want to hit this point. Because I know that I heard a lot of people saying things. I weirdly, and normally in this situation, I become Philly guy, screw you, I hate you, to hell with you. I don't have a lot of ill will towards Jimmy.
I do. I take it personally.
And yeah,
this is personal.
I normally do take it personally. I am normally that guy.
I told him to come here, and he completely screwed me over.
Well, yeah,
I'm upset.
Yeah. Here we go. I'm
upset with Jimmy Butler.
I am.
It was on the 4th of July last year that happened.
Yeah.
So.
Am I unhappy that he decided he didn't want to be here? Yes, of course. Why? Because take fit out of it. I love the way Jimmy Butler plays the game of basketball.
Agreed.
Right? He's a dog. And in the playoffs, he was your guy that when the Sixers needed a last shot, you knew who was going to take it. Okay, which we'll talk about as we get further into the show. But here's a guy who said, It's more, yes, winning is not important to him. That's a total BS thing that he's been saying because he went to a team that's not going to win. Maybe they're a 7th seed, but he went to a team where he's the guy. He's the guy now, and that's what he wanted, and he left $50 million on the table to do it. I don't think this is Jimmy.
So he didn't lie about not caring about the money.
I don't think that this is Jimmy saying, I hate Philadelphia, I hate that team. I think it's Jimmy saying, I prefer to be the guy rather than a cog in the wheel. To each his own. I hope we kick your ass every time you're in town and every time we're down in South Beach.
I can't even begin to explain to you
I know you're
how excited I am for the first time they come play here, because not only do I get to be a part of the destroying of that, I get to boo him and Goran Dragic at the same time.
I don't know if I boo
him. I think you're probably one of maybe 10 people in this city.
I don't know. I just don't.
I'm thankful for what he did.
Yeah,
but
it was a hell of a fun season watching him play.
But, he all I ever wanted to do was win.
Well, yeah, that's the one line that drives me nuts because it was obviously a lie.
Screw you,
Jimmy. It was obviously a bold-faced lie. He doesn't care about winning. But now he's going to be the guy.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. So, look, I was huge on I did not want to lose Jimmy. And I was huge on if he wants to leave, screw him, make him go on his own. I'm okay with the way things worked out.
I'm okay with the way things worked out.
Now, look, I'm not going to be a liar. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I have watched infinite minutes of Josh Richardson play basketball.
I watched him hit an annoying number of threes against the Sixers in the first round last year.
I don't remember much, and I don't know much. Now, from what I've read, from what I've heard, from people who I respect their opinions of the game of basketball, he's a solid young player that has a major ceiling that he hasn't reached yet.
Yeah, because he was with the freaking Miami Heat.
Right. Here's what I like. He's 6'6" with a wingspan of 6'10" at the 2 guard. Jess, what was one of the things that Boston used to love to do to our 2 guard all the time?
Just destroy them, always?
They used to love to get J.J. Redick switched on to, say, I don't know, Marcus Morris or Al Horford. Al Herford.
You're going to need to figure that out.
Need to figure that out.
You're going to need to figure that one out.
And they would just post him up and just eat him alive underneath. You can't do it now. You can't do it. This team in that starting lineup, when you throw in the aforementioned now power forward for your Philadelphia 76ers, one of Jess's favorites, she's got to delete all her old tweets.
Not doing it.
Al Horford.
Absolutely not doing it.
You have a huge team who should be able to defend at a rate that we have not seen here maybe ever. Maybe. I mean, I'm telling you, the length on this team, the fact that Tobias Harris is now your weak link in the starting 5 on defense
is absurd.
Is absurd.
Okay? And he plays pretty, he doesn't play bad defense.
And by the way, when you go to the bench, which, you have guys that are dogs like James Ennis on the glass. You have this, all I keep hearing is Mr. Thibault and Mr. Smith are defensive lockdowns.
Pause.
What'd I do?
Did you see the video of Matisse Thybulle meeting Brett Brown?
It's the greatest video of all time.
It's the greatest video of all time.
That's why I didn't want to fire Brett.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I didn't want to fire Brett.
I've never seen anything like that in my life. That man is on the treadmill. Or no, he was on an elliptical, wasn't he?
Does not break stride.
He was on an elliptical. He did not break stride. He's watching film on the elliptical.
Do you know how hard it is to be on an elliptical and do anything else?
He is.
He had a full-out conversation with him.
There's no words. Hilarious.
But yeah, so listen, look, they got something that they can use out of it. I understand not looking for anything else in that deal because they wanted to keep their cap space for the other moves that they've made.
And thank God they signed Al Horford when they did. Otherwise, Goran Dragic would be a Sixer, and I would be upset.
God, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. There's part of me that wanted you to have to wear that shirt with him being on the roster.
That's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this shirt in celebration today. I'm so happy I can't even tell you.
There is a little
Paul
part
Jolovitz
of me
texted me about it.
Did he really?
Yeah, because he's got a photographic memory. Like he remembers every little detail. So we talked about Goran Dragic when we had lunch one day, and
Okay.
he just can't understand why I hate him so much. I'm like, he's just the worst. Everything about me hates. He texted me and was like, "What would you literally do if Goran Dragic is about to become a Sixer?" And I was like, "I will off myself right here. I will jump off a
I
tall
would have
building."
been a solo host and looking for a new co-host. But
I don't even know what I would have done. I really don't even have words. I already have to deal with Al Horford. I can't deal with both of them.
well, let's get to Al Horford. Now, it had
Okay.
been rumored in the few days leading up that all of a sudden the Sixers could be a mystery team. And I think all of us at the time was like, it would be cool, but man, you're going to give Al Horford a $25 million a year. But the Sixers did it. And what it seemed to me was once they said, okay, no more Jimmy, here's our priorities. Sign Tobias, sign Al Horford. From a schematic standpoint, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
He absolutely has been a power forward in his time, although he's played a lot more center with Boston just because of necessity.
He'll do both. He'll start there, and then they'll take
But-
Joel out. He'll
and
get
that's
some
the
backup
key.
minutes.
When Joel would go out of a game last season or any other season, we'd sit there and go, damn it. Can Boban give us this? Which, by the way,
Shout out to
I shed a
Boban for
tear.
that contract.
I shed a tear.
I'm
Can
sad. I think Tobias shed a few.
Yeah. Can Greg Monroe come in and do something? Can Jonah Bolden not foul guys 4 times in 2 minutes?
No.
You now have a guy that you could trust to get in there, protect the rim because he's an excellent defender, as you saw the way he used to defend Joel Embiid. And look, I know 4 years to a 33-year-old seems terrible.
I'm not even thinking about
I'm in this for the first 2 years.
It's a win now contract.
Yes.
Who cares
Yes.
about the end? They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Elton Brand is a wizard. He can do it. He'll
Yes.
figure it out. He figured out how to do a bunch of stuff already. And again, there was no reason we shouldn't have trusted him, and there's no reason we shouldn't trust him now. He's gotten stuff done. He knows what to do, and he's gotten stuff done. And I think a big part of it is he's not far removed from playing in the NBA, so he's got relationships with a lot of these guys, which I think absolutely helped get Al Horford in here, because they obviously played together in Atlanta. And I really think from every way you look at it, other than possibly a dollars and cents perspective in the next, in 4 years, that makes the most sense for the Sixers, just from several different reasons. Al Horford is regarded as one of the smartest players in the NBA.
You have to be to have a career like he's had.
Right. So you got that. That's veteran presence. That's playoff experience. It's someone who can help Joel Embiid possibly take that next step into completely unstoppable.
And
Because he's the only person that's been able to stop him. The
Yes.
only one. So maybe he can help him a little bit, figure out, hey, this is what I saw going up against you. Let me, show you what I see. Here's how to combat that.
And look, veteran presence is a key point here because the fact is the Sixers lost a lot of veteran presence this offseason. Not just with Jimmy Butler, who I don't even think instilled his veteran presence too much because he wasn't here a full season. But you lost your veteran in J.J. Redick at 6 o'clock and 1 second. Okay, that post came through
They weren't
instantly.
giving him that money, though.
And that's fine. I'm not saying they should have given him that money.
I'm more upset about that than I am about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm not upset that they did not give him that money.
No,
I
I'm not
don't-
upset about that. I'm upset that he decided to go after that money and after saying
Yeah,
he
I was
wants to
surprised.
retire a Sixer.
I was surprised that he elected to do that. But the fact of the matter is, take the game part of it out, the shooting out. You left a void in that locker room that Al Horford immediately fills in.
Yep.
And then on my way in today, I was listening to Tim Legler on the radio say this. He said, from everyone that he's talked to, Al Horford is not only a leader by example, but Al Horford will pull your ass. If Joel Embiid's hanging out at the three-point line, Al Horford's going to say, get your ass on the block and score down here. Stop being out there. Get down there. Al Horford is going to be a huge part of this team. Now, to J.J. Redick, yes, you lose the offense. You lose the offense. There's no doubt about it.
He's such a liability on the other
But
end of the
he
floor.
was taking advantage of time in and time out on the defensive end. I will miss watching him pull up and feeling like every shot's going to go in.
Yes. The form is impeccable.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
amazing.
it is. And I will miss his attitude. I loved his grit on the floor. Even though he wasn't a good defender, you could tell he was always trying.
Oh, he
never
always
took a
worked
play
his
off.
ass off. He never, yeah, exactly. He always worked his ass off, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Now-
It was sad to watch.
I mean,
sometimes.
yeah. Now, listen.
And we would scream and yell about it, and,
Now, a lot of people have harped on the fact that Josh Richardson was only a 35% free throw or 3-point shooter last year. Now, one of the guys I really enjoy following when it comes to Sixers tweets is the guy at Krellbombs. He goes by NBA free agent Sleuth Austin now. He covers the Sixers for the Painted Lines, and he's done a bunch of stuff. But he put out an interesting stat. J.J. Redick made 76 more threes than Josh Richardson last season in 145 more attempts. His point is this. Josh Richardson didn't get as many attempts to shoot as he's going to get here when you think about the presence of Joel Embiid and the defense that he attracts down on him. It's going to open up Josh Richardson to shoot more. So if Josh Richardson can shoot more and make more, that percentage is going to go up towards that 38% NBA average that you really want to be running.
36%?
36, okay?
And think about it. I mean, continuing with the 3-point attempts, I mean, so last season, Al Horford made 73 threes.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Butler made 67.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I like. Look, are there fears for me going forward? Yes, there is. I'm happy with things, but
no matter what team it was, there would always be fear. You know what I mean?
Yes, there
so,
was always
so that's
gonna be a
not
fear.
that's not new.
No, and a lot of the fears are in the two guys that weren't going anywhere. Does Joel take the next step? Does Ben take the next step? You know what I mean? Like that
Absolutely.
was going to be crucial whether Jimmy was here or not.
Absolutely.
My one fear right now, and granted, the whole offense is going to have to change because the offense was predicated off the dribble handoff between Joel and JJ. There ain't no JJ here anymore, so you're going to have to change it up a little bit. With that said, I still am concerned about the shooters. So what are you going to need to have happen? Well, Tobias is going to have to shoot better than he did.
Well, but part of it is the offense should never have run through JJ Redick.
Agreed.
JJ Redick should never have been the first option in an offensive set. That I think is part of Tobias was the fourth option in that offense last season. Sometimes even the fifth.
Mm-hmm.
And he was okay with that. That was fine, but I think that's why his shooting and his offensive output kind of production, that's what I'm looking for. His offensive production sort of took a hit when he came here. Now, again, think about it. Full off season together. There might be a bench piece trade maybe at the deadline. Maybe. But this team is going to be this team for the duration of the year. This team is not going to get a new look, a makeover twice. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to be a makeover.
Tobias'
but
production is going to be so much better than it was last season, purely because he gets the whole offseason. They get a whole season together, and he's not going to be the last option in an offense anymore. He's going to be the first or second option in that offense.
Right. Now, you talk about the bench pieces. There are still 2 slots available on this roster.
I don't think so. I think they're done.
No, they have 2 slots available. They just have to use veteran minimum contracts because they have no cap space. So they have to use the veteran minimum exception on these 2. They have 12. It's 15 is the roster size. They have 13.
I think they hit 15.
Well, that's if you're counting Norvell and Highsmith, which I wouldn't do that yet because if they're two-way contracts, they don't count.
Highsmith, they waived Highsmith. He's not
Yeah.
around. He doesn't exist.
If Norvell's on a 2-way contract,
There was someone else.
and they were saying the rookie Mayock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But no, they are. Look, here's the way I see. I don't think the offseason's over.
No, not by.
I think that honestly, I think they're going to try and look for a suitor for Jonah Bolden to free up $1 million or $2 million there. And I think they are going to sign 1 or 2 guard type players, and I'm talking guards that can shoot the ball and back. Look, I know that everyone is excited about Shake Milton, and I know that Shake just got a 4-year deal. It doesn't make me feel all tingly inside that he's your only backup point guard right now. There's a couple guys out there who you could probably get at the veteran minimum or cheap. That would excite me. One, that I'd be okay with. Let's put it that way, not excited. Jamal Crawford, who has been pining to come here. I know he's older. I get it, but you said it, Jess. We're in win now.
Win now.
He might come here for a veteran minimum. At least you know you have a veteran who could go in when Ben needs a spell.
Right.
Another guy whose name's getting brought up because something funky happened where they pushed back his guaranteed money in his contract. Maybe they're trying to
Avery
move
Bradley.
him. Is Avery Bradley,
I'd be all right with Avery Bradley.
which I would love. Now, there's guys you'd have to
That
pay.
could be my birthday present. It got pushed back till my birthday. That could be my birthday present.
There you
is
go.
Avery Bradley.
Now, there's guys that
Oh,
you're
bye,
going to
TJ. TJ's gone. Pacers. I really wanted him to be the starting point guard
I
for
was
the
literally
Lakers.
going to talk to you about the fact that I wanted them to try and do a sign and trade with TJ.
I wanted him to be the starting point guard for that Lakers team. I thought that would be hilarious.
But, you know, I look, we all knew TJ was going.
R.I.P. Actually, no, there was a chance he was coming back.
Yeah, I'm really glad he's not. I'm glad they've moved on. It was time to move on. So look, obviously the name he had his restricted free agency tag taken off of him by Golden State. It's going to cost
would
more than a
love
minimum,
Quinn Cook
but
to
Quinn
be
Cook
here.
would be a huge addition here. I just don't know how they make it happen. I don't know how they make the money work. I don't know how they make any of that happen. But, you know, so I do think some additions are coming that can make me feel a little bit better about the bench. I love Mike Scott. I love James Ennis. Thibault and Zaire, I mean, look, we think that they could be good, but we don't know much. It's
They're
not like
gonna
we
be
watched
great.
a lot of University of Washington basketball
I've
last
watched
year.
a lot of things in the past. How long has it been? 2 weeks. I've made that my mission a little
Yeah,
bit.
now I can't wait for the summer league to watch these guys play. But I just don't want the bench. Now, Kyle O'Quinn, I don't know enough about the guy. Look, he's a strong dude.
He was an annoyance when he played.
Yeah,
for the Knicks.
he's a big guy. Of course, the one highlight of him on the Pacers just literally moving out of the way so that Joel Embiid could dunk is what's been thrown on Twitter a lot lately. But I believe he was in foul trouble that game, and that
He
was
was
why
in
he did
a
it.
lot of foul trouble, and the
Yeah.
entire team was in foul trouble.
Yeah.
If you remember, that was
Uh-huh.
Joel's first game back.
Yes.
And they were all in a lot of foul trouble, and it was kind of miserable for them by the end because they were just living at the line. And I think they had I want to say they had at least someone fouled out of that game too. They were a little bit of a mess.
Yeah. By the way, speaking about basically, you look at Horford and Richardson, they come in and they replace Butler and Redick, right? Someone put out a stat that Horford and Richardson last year made 573 catch and shoot three-pointers, almost identical to the 575 Butler and Redick combined for. Okay, so maybe the shooting isn't all that bad. Look, it's going to have to show itself on the court. There's, you know, and you're going to have to count on some of these guys maybe to do things that they're uncomfortable doing, such as Ben Simmons taking 15-footers 4 or 5 times a game. You know, things of that nature. It is a strange situation, though, because they don't have a cap left. Hang on. Wife text. Obviously, we're
in baby watch mode.
in baby watch mode.
Baby watch mode. All these texts are important. Is she going into labor? Do we
No,
need to end
no,
the show?
Not as of yet, but she did say, it was funny. She said, make sure you check your phone during the show, because if I go into labor or they want me to go to the hospital, I said, yeah, I know. We'll
Oh,
cut
I
the
have
show
to finish
early.
the show first, and then No, definitely. Yeah, that's another thing. So we might have an impromptu no-show week at any point coming up.
Well, let's put it this way. She's due 2 weeks from today.
She's due the 17th. I still think she's going to go early.
Well, she's not dilating at all, which is going to make her upset because she could have swore she's been having contractions.
That's unfortunate.
But
Were the girls a C-section?
she went a full third. Actually, she's 38 weeks today. When you have twins, they won't let you go past 38 weeks. So it was this time, it would have been this day that we were having the C-section.
So she's
with
going to
the
have to
girls.
have another one.
No.
Really?
She does not. Yes, she does not, because of the science of her body, whatever. I don't want to get it. It irks me every time I go to the doctors and hear these things.
I'm sure it does.
She does not, and she's going to try
That's
and do this in a
amazing.
different way. You know,
God
we'll see.
bless her. Is that thunder?
Could be. They were supposed to get some storms.
Oh, Lord. I'm not trying to. I have to drive all the way home tonight. Sophie just got home from France today.
She was in
we're
France,
going.
right?
Yeah, we're going to my house for dinner tonight.
Oh,
and I have to drive all
look
the
at
way
that.
out
Now you
there.
have to go to my house. Isn't it nice to have that little distance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to
it's
mom
gotta
and
be nice.
dad's for dinner.
Go to mom and dad's dinner. You got to. Oh, we used to do that every Sunday when I had my 3 buddies living with me. We were at my parents every Sunday drinking, eating. It was delicious. It was awesome. Okay, enough of me and you talking about our lives. Let's get back to the situation the Sixers are in, and that's a situation of having no cap room.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, and I want to pull up what their roster would look like right now. I don't know if you pulled it up while we were talking about it or not, but
What the Sixers roster looks like right now?
yeah.
Yeah, I have it.
76ers.
They have so right now their roster is Joel Embiid, Al Horford, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, Mike Scott, James Ennis, Jonah Bolden, Shake Milton, Mariel Shayok, Matisse Thybulle, and Zaire Smith. But then they also have their couple summer league guys they brought in.
Who were the guys they brought in for summer league that maybe
Terry
have a
Harris.
chance? Yeah, I don't know if he has a chance to make the team.
There's a
but-
guy, his name is Christ.
Now that dude is a monster.
He's enormous, and his name is Christ, so I feel like it'd be sacrilegious. to
TJ
him.
McConnell, $7 million over 2 years. So he got the exact deal that Boban got.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's going. Who's going to be the guy that runs off the bench to create the players now? It's the only thing I'm thinking about. That was TJ's role.
Me.
That was TJ's.
I'll do it.
You'll do it.
I'll do it. I'm ready.
So
Put me in,
Christ,
coach. I'm ready.
Christ Kumaje from Florida State. He is a tank of a man. If I remember correctly, kind of offensive limited, but good rim protector. But I don't. He's got a. It's a long shot, seeing as though you have Horford, you have Embiid, and now you have Kyle O'Quinn.
Right.
I think Embiid.
Kyle O'Quinn hadn't made it to this list yet.
Yeah, I think Embiid or Elton Brand is not going to keep 4 centers again. I just don't think it's going to go that route.
No, the only
and
reason
Jonah
they did
Bolden
was
is
because
considered a
of 4
power
or
forward
5.
/ center.
Yeah.
I really hope that they move him for cap space. I know that I'm being weird, but I just don't see a role for him at this point. I just don't see a role for him.
I like him. I hope he can develop into something,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. With this, the way the roster has now been built,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they didn't really allow for.
So the question becomes this, and it's a hard game to do, and I hate how people do it with such certainty when they haven't even played a game yet. But the roster as constructed right now, is it better or worse than last year's roster? And like we could speculate, but what I hate is the guys on ESPN that they're saying, oh, they know it is or it isn't. Like it's hard to do that without actually watching them play and go through training
Right.
camp. But if we speculated, I don't know if I'm ready to sit here right now and say this team is better than last year's team.
As a whole, I would say it is.
You're going with the. I'm assuming
All.
you like this bench better
From start
than
to
last year's
finish, I
bench.
think this team is better. And well, and here's the thing. You know, people can be mad and say, "Well, you got rid of last year's team, and they had the chance to win it all. They're the best team. They could be the best team in the East, and this, that, and the other." They didn't win anything last year. They failed. Like their season ended before they got to hold up a trophy.
I'm sorry. Do you know that the Pacers have 3 guys named TJ on their roster?
Do they really?
Apparently, TJ Warren, TJ Leaf, and TJ McConnell.
That's excessive.
Someone just put.
That's an excessive number of TJs.
You should have
for
to cut
anything.
one. Like you shouldn't be allowed to keep all 3.
That's actually how my dad got his name, Andy, because he's Andrew, and I forget what grade it was. There were 3 Andrews,
And he
one
said,
of them,
"Forget it, I'm
one
done."
of them got to stay Andrew. One of them was Drew, and the other one was Andy.
Kawhi has arrived in Toronto. See how that goes.
Did you see Richard Jefferson's dumb tweet today?
Yeah, these guys put. Here's
Richard
what happened.
Jefferson is the biggest moron on planet Earth.
He meant it. He could tell me he was screwing around. He meant it, and when no one called him, he realized, oh, I got to backtrack this one.
He's a moron. Which
Yes.
one are you talking about?
I'm talking. Oh, I think we're talking about 2 different ones. I'm talking about the one last night where he said, "I'm making it official. I want to come back and play
yeah.
another year," and then came out today and said, "Oh, I was just kidding," because no one called you because no one wants you to play for them.
No one cares about you. You
Oh,
are
my God.
absolutely irrelevant.
Which one are you talking about?
Well, he was talking about how the Sixers. He said the Sixers won't win a championship, have no shot at winning a championship over the next 2 years, have no chance. And they were like, okay, and who is better? Like, who's better in the East? Who's going to be better?
There's really...
And if Kawhi doesn't go to the Lakers, who's better?
Yeah, I mean, there's only one team in the East that you could say will be competitive next year, and I mean ultra competitive, that you can maybe make a case could be slightly better than them, and that's Milwaukee. And I know everyone's going to say no, but Milwaukee still does kept that core intact a little bit, and they still have Giannis, who could be one of the best players in the world. I don't think Brooklyn will be ready yet. You know, obviously Kevin Durant's probably not going to play next year, so you have to look another year down the line for that to actually work. But I have serious doubts about Kyrie Irving ever winning again, because I just don't think he has that mentality.
No.
If Kawhi goes to the Clippers, obviously the Clippers get head and shoulders better because Kawhi is just that type of player. But the Sixers, to say that they have no shot's ridiculous, because they're going to have as good a shot as any.
Right.
But, you know, and look, things have to happen, right? We talked about that. Ben has to take a step. Joel, all that stuff has to happen for them to be in that situation.
Sure, absolutely. But that's also not something that's like, you know, if this happens,
right.
It's not like an outlandish if.
No.
It's like a, this is going to happen if. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're going to take these steps forward. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to sit here and not get better. They're 22 and 24 years old. You know, like, Ben's my age. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's so... let me explain it to you this way. Matisse Thybulle, who we just drafted, is older than Ben Simmons.
It's crazy, isn't it? What's Ben, 22?
Yeah, he'll be 23 at the end of the month, I think. And Matisse is already 33 or 23, I think.
He better not already be 33. Jesus.
No.
The hell was he doing for 4 years?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, keep in mind, this is a kid who's been in the NBA since he was 19 years old. Mm-hmm. He was 18 when he got drafted. He was still 18. He didn't turn 19 until after he was drafted. Like, everyone just needs to relax. And same with Joel. He was so young when he was drafted. Their ceilings are so high that if they prioritize it, and I obviously think they have, like, you can tell Joel Embiid is looking a little svelte, you know? Looking a little skinny.
Enjoying China. They gave him a sword.
Literally, there was a day when my Twitter timeline was Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, sign and trade possible outcomes with the Heat and with the Rockets, and pictures of Joel Embiid with a sword. And I was like, I need this to be.
You know what I loved about that? People were like ripping him for being on vacation. They realize he's with
Under Armour. Like, it was an Under Armour tour.
It's a basketball
thing.
type of thing they do.
And God forbid they, you know, in their vacation season, they take a vacation.
Yeah, God forbid that they do that.
They get vacation days too. It's called the off season. Like, I'm sorry, have you never taken a vacation? You've never taken off work and taken a vacation? He's not even taking off work. This is literally his free time.
It's
like, do you yell at teachers in the summer? That's the equivalent of what this is.
Freaking better not after
that's
your
But
damn
that's what I'm
kids
saying.
all year.
That's the equivalent of this. Like,
You
getting
people.
upset with teachers for going on vacation in the summer.
Well, people take shots. Oh yeah, you complain about your job, you get a whole shot.
No, but that's different.
Stupid.
That's different. I'm not saying
Stupid
that.
complaint.
That's not what I'm saying.
You need this time, damn it.
That's not what I'm saying. Stop it. You're saying something. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that is the equivalent of having a problem with a teacher taking a vacation in the 2.5 months that they literally don't have to be doing their job. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. That is what the equivalent is. But people only freak out at athletes because they want to be angry at something, and they have sad lives, and that's the only thing that brings them joy, apparently.
Well, you bring up Ben Simmons, and obviously the reports came out yesterday. 5-year, $170 million max contract being offered to him. Chances are he will sign that soon. The Sixers will go into the luxury tax to get this deal done, I believe. But it's something that they felt they needed to do now rather than wait.
I think that's a good idea.
I totally agree. And here's, look, as we said going into the show, Jess, you said it right when we started. The Ben Simmons haters are out.
Especially because of the sign and trade with Jimmy Butler, and then the fact that Butler's not here, and then they extended Ben. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yeah, and idiots, and we'll get to some of the idiots that are out there who put out tweets, and this is madness because I want to talk about them a little bit. But Now I'm gonna play a game with you here, Jess.
Great.
I got a game to play. Okay.
Fun.
We're gonna play compare and contrast.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, player A, player B, and player C.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. We're gonna play a game.
I don't want to play a game.
We're playing a game. Okay. I'm not going to give you the points for player C because that's a little bit more unfair, and we'll get to that in a minute. But let me just give you this, okay? What I'm going to do is the first 2 years of everybody's career. Ben has only played 2 years, as we know, okay? So player A, year 1, 7.9 points per game. Year 2, 11.9 points per game. Player B, year 1, 15.8 points per game. 16.9 points per game in year 2. That's points. Okay, rebounds, basically 5, 6, and 6 for A, almost 9 in both years for B, 5, 7, and 7 for C. Okay,
You didn't read me points for C.
Because the points for C are 20 points a game. You'll know I'm pretty sure you know who C is already. This man has been scoring 20 points a game his entire career.
I really don't know who it is.
Okay, we'll get to it.
I know who player B is because I know the stat lines.
Yes. Okay. Assists.
I know the stat lines very well.
Assists. Player A, 1.1, 1.6, 2.0. Player B, 8.2, 7.7. Player C, 5.9, 7.2.
So I'm just going to put this out there. So you're telling me that player B has nearly averaged a triple-double in both of his first two seasons?
Yes,
in
I
the
am.
NBA?
Yes,
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, I was just checking.
Now, I want to tell you who the players are before we talk about some of the other things that I've written out there.
Player
Okay.
B is Ben Simmons.
Player B is Ben Simmons. Very good. I'm glad you got that one. Okay. Player C, and let me, disclaimer, because you know people are out there going to be like, this guy's effing nuts. I'm not saying that he is as good as these guys. I'm just, for sake of comparison. Player C is LeBron James. Okay. Which is why I give the points, because he's been averaging 20-plus points. Okay. Player A is the all-powerful Kawhi Leonard in his first 2 seasons in the NBA. Now, everyone says, well, at least they shot jumpers. First season in the league, Kawhi Leonard, 1.7 threes per game. Second year, he shot 3 per game. LeBron was about 2.7 year 1, 3.9. Yes, it's more. But my point is this. Their games developed, and if you actually look, Kawhi was up by about 5 threes per game this year and scoring 28 points, but he's in year 5 or 6 or 7.
It's more than that.
Was it? I got to remember. I had this whole thing up, and then I lost it.
Because he won a championship in 2013, and that was his second or third year in the NBA, right? He might have been in. I don't remember what year he was drafted, but this is what I think is important. Joe and I talked about this morning. Actually, I think he saw the tweet that said Ben Simmons is going to get his second contract.
Sorry, he's in year 8.
He's in going to get his second contract before making his first 3-pointer. And that should tell you everything you need to know about how good he is at everything else. I think that
And why
people
we
are
need to
gonna
stop acting like he can't grow.
people are going to take that the opposite direction. But in reality, that's how good and dominant he is in every other aspect of the game,
Yeah.
which is absurd and idiotic if you think that that's not something that we should keep here. People don't they expect these kids to just come out of school and be world beaters. Like LeBron James, we're never going to see another athlete like LeBron James in our lifetime. We're never going to see it. We're never going to see another basketball player like LeBron. We're never going to see another baseball player of LeBron's caliber of athlete, superstar. We're never going to see anybody else in the NFL like that. Never. And I can talk till I'm blue in the face about how much I love certain guys and how talented certain guys are, like Carson Wentz or Bryce Harper or this, that, and the other thing. But at the end of the day, we're never going to see another person like LeBron James as long as we're alive. So just because he came out of high school and did things the way he did, no one else is going to do that. You're going to have your guys who come out right away and are successful. You're going to have your guys like Markelle Fultz. And then you're going to have your guys like Ben Simmons who are dominant as soon as they step on the floor and still have room to grow and continue to get better. He was an all-star in his second season in the NBA. That's why he can get $170 million too.
Yeah, I don't.
Because he was an all-star.
This idea that
He should have been an all-star in his first season, but that's neither here nor there. Don't even start with me on that one.
We know, Jess. We know.
That's why I started hating Al Horford. I'm still mad he got in. He had more of a case to get into that All-Star game before Ben Simmons did. Way more than Gore and
Regardless,
Dragic.
the Sixers need to do this. They don't want this to linger on. You get this done now, and then you have your core in place for the next at least 2 years with Josh Richardson. And then hopefully, you can re-sign him at some point as well. I think it's the right move. I think they have to re-sign him, and they have to do it now. And I think people should just stop hating Ben Simmons.
I think locking it up and not even risking a free agency kind of deal. Obviously, he'd be a restricted free agent, but still. You don't want that issue. You don't want that issue. You don't want that problem. You don't want that with a Rich Paul guy. They get what they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic.
Rich Paul is a genius. He gets his clients
You know who else is
want.
a genius? Jeff Schwartz. He is the agent of Harrison Barnes and Ricky Rubio, and also now DeMarcus Cousins. He just signed with him in the last couple days
Where
because
does Boogie go?
he doesn't have a market right now, and that's why he called Jeff Schwartz, because he gets his clients absurd numbers of money. Think about how much money Harrison Barnes has stolen from the NBA and is continuing to steal. He is first-team All-NBA bag securer. But the only other athlete that's stolen more money than Harrison Barnes is Sam Bradford.
Yeah. Kevin Cobb did for a while, too.
Not that kind of money, though.
No.
Harrison Barnes just got an $88 million contract.
Was it for 4 years, too, right?
Yes.
She's making about $22 million a year.
Ricky Rubio just got a $54 million. 54
Well,
for
look.
Ricky Rubio.
Look, part of it is...
Are you kidding me?
And this was the argument I had with some people who were talking about, oh, my God, the Sixers overpaid for Tobias. You have to overpay in the NBA.
You don't have a choice.
Because that's the nature of the business. Yeah, Tobias getting $180 million is a lot of money. But you had to do it. And it wasn't because you painted yourself into a corner. It was because that's what the NBA calls for. Look at the money being thrown around.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably overpaid a little for Al Horford. But if you targeted him as a guy that makes your team better, none of that matters. None of it matters. And I don't understand why fans get so tied up in that.
Because they're
outside of jealousy. It doesn't matter. Look, we're going to pay the same amount to go to their games no matter what. People jack up ticket prices all the time. And guess what? We still go sell the stadium out. So don't act like you give a damn about what they're doing with their money. This whole idea is, you paid them too much. I don't care. If they help my team win, damn it, pay them more.
I want a championship. I don't
That's
care
it.
about anything else. I
That's
literally
it.
don't care.
That's it. I want Brett Brown to be
hold that
holding
trophy.
the damn trophy. Because my
On
God,
his elliptical.
would it not vindicate me
Oh,
and my love
you
of
could
Brett
die
Brown?
happy.
I really could, because someone put in a group text with us today and they said 3 things. It's like, I just don't trust Brett Brown. And I almost put back in a group text, I almost wish he was fired, because I don't know if I have the energy to go back on this hill again this year. I just don't know if I can do it.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy.
I just don't know if I could do it.
It does, but...
Oh, and by the way,
Yep.
the title of my article that I wrote for Wildfire this week ended with "Trust the Brand," which, Jess, we're going to make that work. We're going to make
on it.
no, we're going to make this a thing. Trust the brand is going to be a thing, and if anyone ever tries to steal it, we're going right back to the fact that I have been hashtagging it lately. Actually, you hashtagged it too the other day. And the fact that we are going to have a shirt for sale at shop.prosportsnotes.com for you very soon, hopefully, with a trust the brand type of thing. What other ones were we talking about?
Well, one that's not happening.
Yeah, one.
That we're not even going to talk about that one.
No.
That's not going to happen. I don't remember what the other one was.
The other one was Eagles related, but we'll wait.
I don't remember what it was, though.
It was just something that had to do with Carson, because he's a god.
My aunt actually got me a, those prayer candles. My aunt for my birthday because she didn't want to lose it or break it.
Mm-hmm.
It's one with Carson Wentz on it. But Joe has decided we're only going to burn on Sundays.
That is an excellent. Listen, it works on many different levels. It's burning on Sundays. Not only is it football Sunday, we all know that is God's day. That's the day.
Lord's Day.
It's the Lord's day. You should bring it to church with you. She just looks down.
Oh.
Anyway, as we enter the second hour of our show, The Madness is brought to you by ProSportsNotes.com, powered by WildfireRadio.com. You can catch us on YouTube live every week, or any of our old shows are still up there. You can also catch the podcast on iTunes by searching The Madness with Rob Lange. You can catch us on Wildfire Radio or wildfire.radio.com.
There you go. There
Friday
it is.
mornings, 9
We
to
figured
11
it out.
a.m. Shut up. And catch the podcast as it come out. Please download, subscribe, comment, review. Wherever you do take your podcast, look for us and give us a follow there as we are trying to build things up. We're going to start bringing some more fun stuff your way. As I mentioned, shop.prosportsnotes.com is where you can get the merchandise. Twitter at Philly_Madness, at RunThisTown13, and at JTown Media.
JT_Media.
JT_Media LLC on Twitter. On Instagram, it's at Philly_Madness.
Yeah.
And where give me your Twitter handles. It's one's at JTown13 again. No?
What?
Your Instagram handles.
Oh, at Jessica Town Media
There you go.
and at Jessica_Town.
Yeah, I don't know what
me.
my Instagram is. I think it's at Langy84. I
It
kept
is.
it real simple. That's a shame. You know.
Well, it's because I tag you in things. Leave me alone.
Ah, boy. That's right. You just love your partner. It's okay.
That's what it is.
All right. It's a good relationship we have here.
It is.
On the air.
True.
Was it that? Did I hit everything I need to hit there?
I don't know. I stopped listening halfway through.
Justice doesn't even care about actually getting you to go watch the show. She doesn't give a damn about what I say.
That's not true.
Jess, are we getting a Florida call today?
I don't know. I didn't really talk to him about it. I told him what time we were recording, and he said he was at the beach. And I said, oh, well, that's right. I knew that. And then that was the end of that conversation.
Do we have to do our own Florida hour where I just find stories and talk about
I mean, I'm sure there's some that I've sent to Patrick.
All you got to say, all you got to type is Florida man into Google, and it, because this would
They're
be a
just
good time.
always out there doing dumb stuff. We have to get over to our,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get to this as a segue.
what does this segue? This segues literally nothing. This segues.
Florida man, here's one from 5 hours ago. Florida man busted for reportedly feeding alligator, resists arrest and says, maybe I'm Dr. Doolittle.
Yep. Florida man arrested after pelting girlfriend with McDonald's sweet and sour packets.
Yeah, but that wasn't in Florida. That was the funniest thing about that story is it was like in Georgia,
That's
but it's a
silly.
Florida man, which is pretty funny to me. Let's see what else we got. Florida man busted for, yep, we just did that one.
Florida man accused in Flamingo's death, fatally struck by truck. That's unfortunate.
Wait a minute, I think no, this one is brand new. Florida man just released from jail, tried to break into vehicles in the jail parking lot.
No, we talked about that one.
Says July 3rd.
We definitely talked about that one.
Okay.
I know for a fact we talked about that one. I am absolutely positive. Florida man arrested for allegedly breaking into Wendy's to cook burger and steal safe.
All right. We've hit our Florida talk.
Yep, that's fantastic.
It's
As
over.
always, great things happening in Florida.
Yes. And even outside of Florida with people from Florida.
Yeah.
So as we like to do during the year, and normally we start a little bit later, but with baby Langy expected within the next 2 weeks, we figured
We'll start early.
let's start early. The NFL season is fastly approaching. Training camps will begin here in a couple weeks. Here in July, you'll have the Hall of Fame game in August. Or no, the Hall of Fame game's in July. Because that opens up the preseason, the Hall
It's
of Fame
usually in
game.
August, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
But training camps will open up towards the end of this month. We like to start kind of breaking down the divisions a little bit. Each division, just kind of going through what the offseason looked like for each team and our predictions on how that division will end up. And Jess will keep a running tally. And at the end of the year, she will tell you how I beat her and I'm much better than her at this, which kind of happened last year, but she lost the pages for a little bit.
No, I found him.
And I won.
Yeah, by like one.
I won. Doesn't matter. Vin Diesel once said, it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a yard. Winning's winning.
Okay.
Okay? Kawhi Leonard's ball bounced 4 times on the rim and went in. Still beat us.
Yeah.
All right, so we decided in a quick move today, and great stuff by Jess, coming up with some information. And we're going to go into the AFC North here today.
Gotta love the Google machine.
So the AFC North, interesting division, a lot of movement, a lot of change from last year.
Personnel-wise, there's not going to be much change otherwise.
No, personnel-wise, but it's becoming a division that really stinks. Last year, just to give everybody a reminder, my eyes are bad, so I'm just going to do this. Last year, the Ravens won the division at 10-6 with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 9-6-1, coming in second place. The Cleveland Browns and missing the playoffs. The Cleveland Browns 7-8-1 and obviously missing the playoffs, and the Cincinnati Bengals coming in dead last at 6-10. So, Jess, should we start with last year's last place team and work our way up, or do you want to start with the first place team? How do you want to do this?
We can start with last place.
Okay.
Because they're going to be last place again.
Okay. Well, we know where Jess's prediction's going. All right, let's look at the Cincinnati Bengals. If you look, key additions, they brought in a guard and John Miller. They lost Tyler Croft, Vontaze Burfict.
Perfect. Vontaze perfect.
I thought it was Burfict. Are you
It's
sure
not.
you didn't miss a letter?
I'm literally copied and pasted, so no.
Okay. Cedric I'm not going to try and say that. The rookies they brought in are offensive tackle Jonah Williams, tight end Drew Sample, linebacker Jermaine Pratt, and quarterback Ryan Finley. A very ho-hum offseason for a very ho-hum team.
And their first round pick is out for the season because he's having shoulder surgery, so.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's no good.
It's with that first offensive tackle.
That Jonah Williams?
Jonah Williams, I couldn't remember his last name. Yeah, he's
Right.
out, and then they lost that other offensive tackle in Cedric. So yeah, their line's screwed. Their line was screwed already.
And their quarterback is not very good.
Their quarterback is very, very. His nickname's Average Andy for a reason.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what the shame of it is? Their skill positions outside of quarterback, with Joe Mixon and then obviously A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd.
Yeah,
They have good skill position guys, but
they're way too committed to Andy Dalton.
they're way too committed to Andy Dalton, and they have not been committed enough to getting this offensive line in order.
And additionally, they now have a new head coach who once had a cup of coffee with Sean McVay, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and their defense is not what you would call. They were terrible last year,
And they're going to be terrible again
and they
this
haven't
year.
done much to make it better this year.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I think that as weird as it sounds, first-year head coach, and you've really given him nothing to work with. I don't see how this team wins more than 4 or 5 games this year.
Yeah, I mean, I have them at 6-10 just because sometimes those divisional games get a little bit.
Yeah. I'll give them 5, but I ain't going above 5.
Get a little bit exciting. They've got a few games. Like, they play the Dolphins. They play the Cardinals. They play the Bills. Like, there's a chance that any of those games could go in their favor. Maybe 1 or 2 divisional games. Somewhere in the 5-11, 6-10 realm is where they're going to end up. They're just going to be bad.
Yeah, and it's a shame. It was time for Marvin Lewis to walk away and all that, but they got a really long haul here. And you kind of hope for their sake they're bad enough where they can get a young quarterback in the draft, maybe the kid from Oregon who went back for a year. There's going to be some names at the top of that draft that maybe they can get to start building because the Andy Dalton thing's got to run out.
Right, and especially, the way that the Browns are trending so far upward, the Ravens are trending upward, the Steelers, maybe Ben will end up in a nursing home soon. I don't know.
Should end up in a jail cell, this smug bastard.
Yep, that too. But, they all have some pieces that they're trending upward. The Bengals really don't.
No.
Like, they don't have anything.
They're
that's
trending downward.
Yeah,
they're going the other way.
They don't have anything.
Joe Mixon's the only thing trending upward, but he's got no line.
Right. So it's,
So
it's
a shame.
Ow. I went like this, and I guess my left shoulder blade is sore. Ow. I wasn't ready for that. That really hurt.
Moving sucks, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. All right, so you mentioned the Cleveland Browns, and obviously, look, if they gave out trophies for off seasons on paper, most people would say the Cleveland Browns would have won the trophy. So let's talk a little bit about what their offseason looked like. Key additions, obviously, Odell Beckham, Kareem Hunt, Sheldon Richardson, Morgan Burnett, Safety Eric Murray, Olivier Vernon, and Philip Gaines. Losses, Jabril Peppers, Brian Body Calhoun, Emmanuel Ogba, Brashad Perryman, which probably is an addition by subtraction, Ricardo Lewis, same, Derek Kindred, and then they have rookies of Greedy Williams, Sione Takataki.
Yes.
That's an awesome name.
That's an awesome
if it's
name.
pronounced that way,
That's fantastic.
I want that jersey. I'm just going to buy a Takataki jersey. I'm going to say that all day.
Yep.
And linebacker Mac Wilson. Now, here's the deal. All these offseason things are great.
Right.
There are questions to this team. Mm-hmm. One of which, you give a guy named Freddie Kitchens the head coaching job. Yeah, he was a great offensive coordinator for them, did well with Baker Mayfield second half of the season after the Hugh Jackson firing and all that. But is he ready for the attention that this team is getting?
I don't know if it's necessarily going to be the attention problem. It's going to be the lack of experience from a playoff perspective. Because I really think they are going to win the division.
The team is the same thing, though. There's a lack of experience.
But that's what I'm saying.
Too.
Across the board, there's a lack of experience. So I think it's going to be one of those. Like, remember when Dallas won the division a couple years ago and they got their asses kicked in the first round? And,
you mean like every year because they stink?
Well, yeah, but they went in there and they were the first seed. They had a first round bye. They were 1 seed, first round bye. Went in there. The Packers went into Jerry World and beat them. Mm-hmm. So that's it's going to be one of those, yes, they're a good team. Yes, they will probably win the division because the rest of their division sucks. And they will get into the first round of the playoffs, probably with a pretty decent seeding. Obviously, there's the New Englands and the Kansas Cities and things like that they have to worry about. But they're going to be in a good spot, and they're just not going to be ready for the moment.
Well, there's a couple other things with this team. What you're saying is absolutely a major concern. I don't know how good their chemistry is.
That too.
And I mean this, a lot of new faces. Okay, dream team. Remind you of anything? Bringing in all these guys. Okay, so they have to mesh. On top of that, look, I love Baker Mayfield, and I like his swagger. I like his attitude. Mm-hmm. But the way he called out Duke Johnson twice publicly ain't a great look. It's not a great look,
buddy.
It's just not a good look.
No.
And then from a schematic standpoint, from a team standpoint, someone's calling. I'm not answering.
Answer that. I don't know who that is. Don't answer it.
No, that would not go over well. Sorry. Wasn't that? He just signed. Sorry, someone's texting me about T.J. McConnell. This is big news.
It is big news. It's the biggest news of today.
Yeah.
It really is the biggest news of today.
The Browns' offensive line is no good.
Yeah, that's what I have written down here. My notes for them. Yes, Baker shows promise. Yes, they have dynamic weapons. But their O-line is going to be the determining factor of a lot of that.
Yeah. Look, I think their defense is going to be really good again. I think that they're strong. They got a lot of good guys in positions. You bring in a Sheldon Richardson.
Right.
Bring in Olivier Vernon and then Takataki and Wilson. Okay, you bring those guys in. They're going to be a solid defensive team. And they have the pieces, but that offensive line can derail you.
Yes.
Odell Beckham was on a team last year that people thought had the offensive pieces, but their offensive line derailed them.
They had 2 offensive pieces.
They had 3. They had Ingram.
No one thought he was going to be as good as he was, though.
No, yeah, because he came on during his rookie year.
Yeah, but not last year. No one. People were like, yeah, they got Saquon. Yeah, they got Odell. Ooh.
And they had Ingram, and people were also high on the other receiver, who now I can't remember his name.
Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Great. This team has Kareem Hunt, who will be suspended for the first 8 games of the season.
But Nick Chubb pops right in there.
Nick Chubb. They've got Duke Johnson. Then they have David Njoku, who was really good last year and had a really good connection with Baker. They have Baker, obviously. Then they've got Jarvis Landry. They've got Odell Beckham. They have a complete list of weapons on the offensive end. But the line's going to be the big question there because obviously you really can't run the football without a line. So having 3 good running backs is essentially pointless if you don't have a way for them to get through anywhere. And having a good young quarterback is only so useful if he doesn't have any time to throw the ball.
Exactly.
So they've got good pieces, but it'll just I still think they're going to win the division.
Okay.
But I mean I don't think it's not going to go anywhere other than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not at least with the Rams last year, like I didn't think they were actually going to be as good as they were, but I still thought they had a chance to be if it all worked together.
Right.
And it did work together, but they also had guys with that experience. They had guys with the playoff experience. They had guys with that kind of talent and I don't want to say experience for the 4th time in a row, but
just say it.
They have guys that have been in those moments before and know what it takes and could help the younger guys. The Browns don't have any of that. And their coach is sure. I'm interested to see how they do, what they do. It'll be interesting. It will.
Wow.
What?
Wasn't Jared Lorenzen the big quarterback that was drafted out of Kentucky?
I don't know. Why?
Because he just died at the age of 38.
Jeez.
I'm trying to think if he was the guy I'm thinking of. I'm pretty sure he was the bit that the Giants ended up taking. He was he was a tank. He was battling multiple health issues though, and apparently his mother confirmed to Jeremy Schaap that her son Jared had died today. So prayers out to his family. Prayers out to the Anaheim Angels story of the 27-year-old Skaggs. Is that was their last name? Just terrible, terrible stories. You hate to see these types of things. Especially when you talk about the fact that it doesn't seem like there was foul play. It doesn't seem like there was, I know it's going to take like 90 days for the autopsy results.
Well, here's the problem. Only toxicology reports actually take that long to come in.
True. And they look.
And so like an OD isn't necessarily a suicide.
Right.
And it's not. Foul play kind of indicates that there was another person involved.
Right.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate that might be it, and I don't want to speculate, but they said on ESPN last night it's going to take a couple months for the results of the autopsy to come in, and an autopsy can be done in a couple days. That all comes back quick. It's the toxicology report.
Yeah, and it's just such a sad
which
story.
Which is really sad.
But two young guys right there.
The Angels owner said there was some line in there when he was talking about it, something along the lines of, sometimes guys sit in their rooms by themselves and start thinking and overthink things, which makes it seem like he was battling some.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is it's so sad.
It's a shame.
It's so sad.
Prayers with both of those families that we just mentioned. It's unfortunate. It's the human side of sports when people die, especially when they pass away way too soon in their lives. So not to dampen the mood, but I thought at that point might as well just pass that along.
You did dampen the mood a little bit, but it's okay.
All right, well, let's push forward. Let's go. Prediction: Cleveland Browns record.
I have them going 11-5, just because they didn't win the division last year, so their schedule is not that difficult. They've got
11-5.
They've got a few in there, but their schedule, I think they play the Dolphins, they play the Bills, play the Jets.
Watch out for those tricky Bills. Watch out for the Bills this year. Watch out. I'm gonna look. They were 7-8-1 last year. Yes, I think they're better. I just don't know.
What did you think that the Browns were going to be, by the way?
That's what I'm about to say.
The Browns? I mean the Bengals. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I was looking at Browns.
5-11.
Okay. I just want to write it down to make sure I got it right.
Okay. As far as Cleveland is concerned, I do think they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to make that much of a drastic change as Jess does, given an 11-5 record. But I do think they'll go 9-7. And obviously another step in the right direction. And they could very well sneak into the playoffs. So that's where I'll go there. All right, let's go to the second place team last year. And Jess, as you have written down here, Steelers have never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin, but they went 9-6-1 last year, and it was a disappointing 9-6-1, seeing as though at one point 7-2-1. Wasn't there a tie the first game of the season or some ridiculous thing with
Yeah,
Cleveland?
it was like ugly
It
field
was
goals.
nasty. Yeah, it was terrible.
It was horrible.
But they were 7-2-1. They were 3 wins away from 10 in week. What's that? 11, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and they go 2-4 down the stretch, losing to the Broncos and the Raiders. And they end the season 9-6-1 and miss the playoffs. Have it come down to the Ravens. Right? Didn't the Ravens? It was between them and the Ravens ended up winning the game.
Yeah, they beat the Browns.
Beat the Browns, yeah, and they had to watch on their field devastated. But look, let's face it. There was nothing but turmoil from the beginning of the season surrounding Pittsburgh. Now, a lot of it is was self-inflicted.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, because of the way they handled situations with Le'Veon Bell, because of who Le'Veon was, and because of who Antonio Brown was, and the way they handled that situation. It was self-inflicted. Mike Tomlin tries to play the hard-ass role, and he does a good job of it, but there was no there was just like nobody took the blame for anything last year. Everybody just kept passing it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And it ends up being their demise. They miss the playoffs. They go 9-6-1. Excuse me, I need to take a drink if you want. Go from there.
Rob's dying. Goodness gracious. All right. Well, I mean, first of all, they open up their season starting against the Patriots. They're going to lose. They're immediately going to start 0-1. I think with some of the different things, I agree. Last year, a lot of the media scrutiny, the attention they got was a lot of it was self-inflicted. But, you know, obviously they missed the playoffs without Le'Veon Bell. They now lose Antonio Brown. And they didn't really replace either of those players with much. Ben is old. You don't know. Yeah, I mean, at any point that switch can flip.
Yes.
You don't know when that's going to happen.
With Ben, that switch can flip either way for him. Like you could think
Right.
he's done,
and
then
it
all
could
of a sudden
happen in the middle of the season several times.
He throws for 450 yards, and you're like, holy.
And then he can't complete a pass. Yeah. You know, like there's no really in between. So, I think for them, you know, they had a couple interesting young guys in there. I really think Devin Bush is going to be interesting in their scheme. It'll be really cool to see how that goes. He's a guy that I wouldn't have minded having here, but, you know, like we've talked about before, we don't value linebackers here for some odd reason. So he makes a lot of sense to kind of fill into that Ryan Shazier role. But, you know, I have the Steelers going 9-7, essentially the same as last year. Maybe squeaking into the playoffs in a wild card spot, but I don't think they're going to be much better than last year.
Just a little bit more NBA news. I know we're into the NFL now, but Adrian Wojnarowski tweeting, the Grizzlies are trading Kyle Korver and Javon Carter to the Suns for DeAnthony Melton, Josh Jackson, 2020 second-round pick, and 2021 conditional second-round pick.
Interesting.
So there was a lot of thought that Kyle Korver and Andre Iguodala were going to play together again. Now they're not.
R.I.P.
that's over.
Andre Iguodala also might get bought out, so he probably wasn't going to stay there anyway.
It's a shame. God, I would have liked to see them. I know it's weird, but I would have liked to see them trade for Kyle Korver. Just bring him off the bench. I want a shooter on the bench.
Trade what?
Jonah Bolden.
I think they're going to trade for Kyle Korver.
One of your 88 second-round
Look what
picks.
they just got in return.
Got one guy. I don't even know who the hell DeAnthony Melton is.
Wait.
They got Josh Jackson.
Yeah. They got Josh Jackson.
Who, with
picks.
Monty there now, probably fell out of favor. Monty probably doesn't want to, has guys in mind for the position that Josh Jackson. Because if you remember, Josh Jackson get to play because of Mikal Bridges.
Right.
They're the same guy.
Yeah.
So one of them had to go. So, I mean, it's more of you get a bench shooter and now you don't have to fight Mikal versus Josh again. Hell, I'd have taken Josh Jackson. Anyway, I just want another bench piece to make me feel better. If they sign Avery Bradley, Jess, I'm golden. I'm good. I'm ready to roll, baby. Bring me to October. Okay. So Pittsburgh, look, obviously you lose Antonio Brown, you lose Le'Veon Bell. That's hard. James Conner filled in very well. I think he's going to be a very good running back for them.
Right.
I think, they brought 2 more linebackers here with Mark Barron, but then Devin Bush in the draft I think is going to be a really nice signing for them. Linebackers always seem to succeed there. They always seem to succeed in Pittsburgh, whether it be the scheme or whatever the case may be. So, I think Pittsburgh, without the disruption, actually bounces back this year. Juju Smith-Schuster's ready to take on that role. You need to
like him.
I do too. You need to get a secondary receiver, to do some stuff, whether it be the rookie Johnson, whether it be the kid from last year, James Washington. They need somebody else. I don't know. Whoever their tight end is always seems to catch the ball, so I don't think it really matters. I think that they take a step back up this year. Not a lot. I don't think all of a sudden they're a 12-win team. But I do see them getting back to 10-6 this year, and I do see them getting back to the playoffs. Did you give us a record for
10-6,
them?
you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said 9-7.
Okay. Last year's winners, the Baltimore Ravens, had a very interesting offseason.
Did they, though?
They said goodbye to some vets in C.J. Mosley, Terrell Suggs, and Eric Weddle. But then they brought in some guys in Earl Thomas, Shane Ray, and Mark Ingram to the fold. And obviously, look, I think me and you both agree, Jess, their season hinges on Lamar Jackson and his development as a passer.
And his decision-making.
Yeah.
His decision-making is his biggest downfall right now. So, yeah, he's inaccurate. One, I think he could have a really good career. I think he could be really good. Stop making me yawn over here.
Look.
So,
Kids with bad dreams, it's killing me.
Yeah, I just think that, they're gonna. I mean, they'll probably lose. One against the Browns, one against the Steelers. They also. I mean, they're playing the. They play the Patriots. They play the Texans. They play they have a first place schedule. Keep that in mind. So they play Pats, Texans, Rams, Seahawks, Chiefs. They play all of those big teams, and. They drafted, Hollywood Brown. They're going to get some good offensive production out of him. They're going to get some good offensive production out of Mark Ingram. But, how good is their line? They're okay. Mm-hmm. And then you've got Lamar Jackson. So the Lamar Jackson factor, it really is the centerpiece. It's it's the cog in the wheel, right? It's going to make this all work or not. So their defense is, yeah, they lost C.J. Mosley, they lost Terrell Suggs, they lost Eric Weddle. They have Earl Thomas, but their defense isn't going to be world beating. They're going to be a good defense, but they're not.
And that's what they did. The only guy they didn't replace is C.J. Mosley, because I'm with you on that. Mm-hmm. They did not even did they go after the draft to. I guess that they feel they have internal guys, that are going to step in that role. But I will say, Shane Ray comes in at that defensive end spot. Earl Thomas and Eric Weddle at this point in their careers are probably Earl Thomas, if he's healthy, is probably a notch above Eric Weddle. But I just don't know if the guy could stay healthy. That's a big question with him.
Yeah.
So,
and what did he do? Did he tear an ACL? Or did he break his leg?
I don't remember. I just remember giving the finger to the entire Seattle Seahawks
hilarious.
bench as he's getting carted off the field with the
That was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Oh boy.
So what do you think their record's going to end up being?
I have something written down. So they're between 8-8, 9-7.
I have them at 8-8.
And I
it could go either way. I think them and the Steelers could honestly go. So I have the Steelers at 9-7 because I think they're going to get the upper hand just a little bit because of the schedule thing. Mm-hmm. But I think that based on their matchups, it could really go either way. Oh, good Lord.
All right. So I guess that means then where me and you I go 10-6 to the Steelers and 9-7 to the Browns. 8-8 to the Ravens, and I'm going 5-11 to the Bungles as they're back in the cellar. So really, me and you just flipped Cleveland and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Cleveland's ready to, take that jump into the playoffs this year. At least by winning division. Maybe they get a wild card. You never know how the wild cards all play out.
Yeah.
And we'll do that as we get closer to the season. But, okay. So we have done the AFC North. It's done.
So
It's
next
over
week
with.
we'll do the NFC North. I'm missing a team because I just wrote it all out, so I have the AFC North because I wanted to keep it all on the same page this year, so I didn't have to go back and try to find it. So I have AFC North, AFC South, AFC West, AFC East, NFC East, so we could end with the NFC East before the season starts. I'm missing an AFC South team, and it's driving me nuts.
Tell me 3 teams you have.
Colts, Texans, and Titans.
Jaguars.
How could I forget? I had all other 31 teams written down, and I couldn't. It was driving me insane. But I got it. I figured it out. And I knew what divisions they were in. Go Jess. Proud of me.
Let's see.
Yes. Can I help you?
I'm looking for our next segment just to have a little bit of.
Are we done with that, those question things?
I just forgot this week.
Oh, okay. Are we supposed to do more? Is that a thing?
We're supposed to do it every week. Just go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
But I dropped the ball this week. I did everything except for that.
You're the worst. You suck at this. Just
Okay.
kidding.
Hang on a second.
Just gonna ignore me. That's fine. No, you had daddy daycare this week.
Yeah, Daddy Daycare started this week for me, and it was Monday was great. They were tremendous.
Have you done anything fun?
Not yet. Gonna probably do it Friday. I'm thinking about taking them to the aquarium Friday morning.
Ooh, fun.
You want to come because I need somebody to come with me.
We actually have friends coming in to.
I didn't
The
actually.
Suns are planning to buy out the partially guaranteed contract of Kyle Korver. Lakers, Sixers, and Bucks are frontrunners to sign Korver once he clears waivers.
Give me him. Give me Kyle.
Ow.
He
Ears.
can't defend, but give me him.
Yeah, that's what we want. Our we have an
We have enough
all-star
defensive
defensive
guys.
team.
Yeah. We don't need any more defenders. We need guys to score the basketball. Every time a guy comes over here, they go, great defender. And no one talks about their offense. I need offense.
We have offense. Stop banging the table. You're shaking my camera and nothing else.
It was on purpose.
Of course it was.
All right, should we, let's see, it's about, okay, so we got about a half hour left. Is there any other,
The Phillies won last night. Woo.
this is my jersey.
Love
I'm
it.
wearing my jersey.
Proud of you.
Remember I put a
Here's
poll.
a question. Yeah, it was a dumb poll. Here's a question. No, because it was a dumb poll because no one ever.
Why are
thought-
my polls done, but all yours are great? Huh?
No, you were the only person that felt so self-conscious about buying a jersey.
I believe it
because
was
you're
83-13, so it must
because
have
you
been
were
more.
uncomfortable with your masculinity or something over there. Your
I'm very
masculinity is
comfortable in my
fragile.
Oh.
Somehow.
Do you watch the show Euphoria on HBO?
No.
Do you know the show I'm speaking about?
No.
It's brand new.
Oh, is that the one with Zendaya?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I've heard it was a lot.
It's a lot.
But I'm trying to figure out. So I'm probably going to end up. So, okay. Do I wear my Bryce Harper jersey out and about for the 4th of July tomorrow? Or do I somehow doctor my Jimmy Butler jersey?
Yeah, I
with
saw
duct
this
tape?
question you posed. Can I give you my opinion? Am I
Yes.
allowed?
Yeah.
Do not wear that jersey.
Which one?
Your child's Jimmy Butler jersey.
Why not?
It's done. Unless someone takes the number 23 and you can doctor it.
I'm gonna make it a Matisse Thybulle jersey. I've decided.
Is he getting 23?
No, he's gonna wear 22. That's what duct tape and things are for. I'm gonna fix
Okay.
it.
Eventually, you need to do that. Do not wear that tomorrow. Tomorrow's Bryce Day.
Tomorrow's Bryce Day. Okay,
Tomorrow's
I can
Bryce Day.
remember.
Think about it.
I'll wear my Bryce Harper jersey
Bryce
and
Harper-
an American flag bandana around
Bryce
my head.
Harper, the American flag arm sleeve.
Okay, I'm
he's
not
a
gonna
very.
wear an arm sleeve.
No,
I'll
I'm just
wear
saying
the
he's
bandana
very.
around my forehead.
I'm just saying he's
That's
very
fair.
American.
No, I gotcha. He is.
So you gotta go. You gotta go, Bryce. You gotta
Alright,
go, Bryce.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's
please, for me.
Okay, well that'd be the only thing that would change my mind. But you know.
We love each other. We really do, guys.
We do. I swear.
Are we going to? Oh, real quick, back to the NBA. Just some of the other teams. We talked a lot about the Sixers, and we mentioned Brooklyn and what they did to really revamp their team.
How about trading D'Lo?
How about Golden State? And not only that, Golden State does it, and it's already being reported that if he's there, he's only there for a year, and then they're going to move him.
Yeah.
It's incredible. you know,
I don't know how well they're gonna do this
No,
year,
I don't
but-
either. But they say, yeah, we're gonna lose Kevin Durant. Let's make a deal. And here's D'Lo.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I tell you what, I do want them to play for a little bit because I'm very intrigued how he would fit
I don't think he
and
will
mesh.
fit.
I don't think he will either.
But I just think that is kind of the ultimate middle finger to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Which I think there were reports that he was interested in going back there, and
Lakers.
I quite honestly I was like, all right, you know, if he
The
wants to go there,
Lakers-
whatever. But that going there instead
Yeah.
to me,
The
is
Lakers
just
are in great shape,
hilarious.
Jess. They signed Jared Dudley today, and
He's literally
going
to play Elmer Fudd in Space Jam
Did
2.
you hear
He's going to play Elmer
what
Fudd.
Jared Dudley said? He's had to sell him signing,
Yeah.
not to the owners,
to
to LeBron, and get him to sign off on it.
Yeah, because we know LeBron's the one who signs off on everything.
Oh God.
We knew that. I think it's hilarious that no one called him. He had to call them. I think that's funny.
I just
the
really
worst.
hope Kawhi says, screw you guys.
I saw something that was on Twitter. It was like, if I don't see Ben Simmons, Iverson step over Jared Dudley in the 2020 NBA Finals, I'm going to scream. I was like, that'll be the
another
best
great
moment of my
line.
life because we already have Joel stepping over Goran Dragic, which makes me happy on levels I can't explain. I hate that guy. I absolutely hate that guy. And how about Danny Green still out there?
Yeah, and it's a shame because I really thought that maybe Elton was trying to work it.
I think he was, but he's waiting for Kawhi. If Kawhi goes
Yeah.
back to Toronto, he's going to go back
gonna
to
go back to
Toronto,
Toronto.
which is fine.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem with that.
Um,
Wouldn't it be the ultimate Kawhi move for
Someone now,
Kawhi to agree to stay in Canada on the 4th of July?
now I'm hearing that Lakers or the Sixers are the favorites, are the head to get one Kyle Korver.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be awesome.
How old is he at this point?
God, he's old.
50?
Uh,
Literally, how old is he?
Kyle's
36 or 30,
probably
like 38?
30. I want to say Korver's about 36. I want to say he's not that much older than me.
He's 38.
He's 38
I
years
told you
old.
he was 38.
I guess I
literally
am
just-
turning 35, so he isn't that much older than me. And here's that moment of the show where I realize just how old I am.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit here.
That's a shame. Okay. The Dallas Mavericks are going to be sneaky good next year. Doncic, Porzingis,
That's assuming he's fine
and they stole my heart.
with Seth Curry.
I was on Twitter on Monday.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
refreshing. And when that news broke,
You don't have to refresh. All you have to do is set the Nogin Shams notification.
I know I have that, but I didn't want it that way. I wanted it this way. I don't know. I
That's
had
so
trust
weird.
me.
I had those notifications on. That's how I got all my information.
I had those notifications on too. My heart sank when I saw his name and Dallas. I'm telling
I didn't think
you,
there was any chance he was coming. I didn't think they had any interest in him, really.
he would have been perfect coming off of this bench. 45% 3-point
He's
shooter.
a Curry. What do you expect?
I expected him to be on my team.
I didn't. That was a far-fetched dream. It's like Kawhi. That's a far-fetched dream.
Well, Kawhi was an impossible dream.
Yeah, and Seth Curry was one step under that.
Now I'm seeing the Lakers are favorites to get him. What the hell? Someone make up your damn mind.
Who cares? I don't care what any of these things report about the
Oh
favorites
my
again.
God.
I'm just going to wait until it happens.
Elton Brand, Kyle Korver, Mike Scott, Al Horford, all teammates on the Atlanta Hawks from 2013 to 2016.
That's the best thing I've heard all day.
That's so
That's
awesome.
quite honestly the greatest thing I've heard all
That
day.
is awesome. That would be awesome.
Mike Scott's one of my favorite human beings on planet Earth. Can we talk about it?
He ain't gonna be no bleep.
He's my favorite person. And he's so happy to be here. He's so happy.
Did you see that someone tweeted something about that eclipse yesterday and Tobias Harris said something, they went, and then somebody said, at Mike's M. Scott, your thoughts, and Tobias said, don't ask him, man. You know what he's about to say. And Mike Scott said, oh, you know what I'm going to say. They just, we do have a fun team.
He's hilarious.
We have a fun team.
We do.
How much time's up? You want to go into This Is Madness? Because I got quite a few.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I was trying to get my everything else together. So you go and tell a story, and I'll think.
I'm going to try and think of which one to go with. Oh, I need to skip the Raymore Flanagan ad here. It's insane stuff here.
Sounds good.
All right, let's go to This Is Madness. First story on the books for me. Angelo Cataldi. Look, I know he is the king of radio in this town, and I respect everything he's done. But his tweet after the Ben Simmons news broke yesterday was an utter disgrace because he obviously didn't read that when he puts out there basically, you're not going to give Jimmy the max, now you're going to give Ben. It was offered. It's been reported by multiple good sources that it was offered. Get over yourself, Ange. Like, seriously, he's sounding more and more like a guy that has no clue what he's talking about. And I don't want Angelo Cataldi to be a shock jock. That's not who he should be. He's pissing me off day in and day out now.
That's why I stopped listening to that station.
Oh, my God. So that one pissed me off a little bit.
In the morning, at least.
That one pissed me off, not going to lie.
Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, it's like he's the mouth of that half of the fan base, and that's the half of the fan base that drives us nuts. Mm-hmm. It's just stupid. It's stupid. Why not give Ben the money? It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's so unbelievably dumb.
I refused to listen to the show this morning because I knew I would get angry if I would have heard any of it.
Yeah, I didn't listen to anything today.
No. All right, what do you got?
I really kind of told you mine already with moving. It's hard.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yes, it is.
Do you know how many boxes I had? We filled a 15-foot truck. We were in a 640 square foot apartment.
Isn't it interesting when you move to sit there and go, where the hell did I have all of this stuff?
Where did I have all this? My first question was, how did I manage all of this in college? Like, how did I manage to fit all this in a bedroom in college?
Yeah.
Because, like, our closet's really big. We have plenty of, I have filled, I'm trying to think, how many, our closet's maybe, so it's like an L shape, kind of, but with, like, a thick bottom part. So the long part, it probably is like 8 or 9 feet deep. It's one on top and one on the bottom. Mine is full, from end to end, packed across. And Joe's like, go hang more stuff up. And I'm like, will you go look in the closet? And it's full. It's full.
Yeah.
It's full.
It's the way
but
it goes.
We did get, I was telling you this last week, we did get an awesome amount of like artwork from Philly artists and like photographs and different kinds of things. So our apartment is just Phillied out from top to bottom.
I'm going to have to come see your apartment at
so
some point.
cool.
I got to come check it out.
It's so cool.
I got to come check it out.
Our guinea pig loves the apartment. He used to.
I'm sorry, you're what?
We have a guinea pig.
Have you always had a guinea pig?
For the last 2 years, yes.
So does he is it joint custody? Does he spend some nights at your house? Did he spend some nights at yours and some at Joe's?
No, he stayed at Joe's.
What color is your guinea pig?
It's brown and white.
It didn't die already?
No.
Don't they only have like a lifespan of a year?
No, it's like 2 to 5 years. It's like something like that. But anyway, so we.
Do you let him just run around the house?
No, we haven't.
Good.
But he for some reason, like at Joe's house, he would squeal when we would come in the room, like he'd get excited. But then he would chew on the like bar of the cage, but he would do it at like 2 a.m. It was horrible. He has not done it one time since we moved.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen a guinea pig in person.
Really?
Yeah. Now I'm thinking, like I'm sitting here.
Okay, so now you have to come see our apartment just to come see
that. Like, because you said it
pig.
squeals. I was like, a guinea pig squeals?
Yeah, he makes little squealy noises.
Interesting.
He's adorable. We give him carrots. He loves them.
Hey, we've got a pretty good average watch time today. I don't know if you've paid attention to that.
Yeah.
We're doing pretty good over here.
Yeah.
All right.
Not bad.
Okay, so I wrote a bunch of stuff down.
Just fly through them because I got nothing for you.
The Nike.
I prepared for everything but that.
The Nike shoe situation. Here's my take on this situation. Okay. I have to look, and I have been on Colin Kaepernick's side with a lot of this stuff. I think this has gone a little bit, a little over the top, and I say it because of this. Yes, during that time period, there was an issue in society with slavery and all that. But that flag represented,
Obviously.
Yeah. But that flag represented us becoming free. So for Nike to want to put that shoe out, first of all, it's the same design as on the NBA jerseys for the 76ers when they do the stars in a circle. That's the same thing.
Right.
Because it's 1776, right? I don't think that that Kaepernick should have said anything. And I don't think Nike's weak-willed or anything like that. And
I appreciate Nike supporting their athletes the way they do.
And I appreciate Nike not bowing to people like Mitch McConnell and guys like that who think they could just bully you into doing something. Mm-hmm. But I really am a little disappointed that Kaepernick did this, because to me, this was, look, if in these situations, you got to be fair, right? This was a little over the line the other way. I just don't think he needed to make it the big deal out of this.
It's very similar, and it's any issue, right? It's any person who believes in an issue but goes out of their way to force the issue. Mm-hmm. So it's like, anytime someone, I get into an argument with somebody, whether it be on Twitter or on Facebook about one of my articles or something like that, the easy way out would be for me to just be like, oh, are you saying that to me because I'm a woman? No. Have a conversation about sport. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm with you. I understand that it was obviously there were terrible things happening in our country, and there still are terrible things happening in our country with things like that.
100%.
But not everything always has to be about a certain issue.
Right.
And that's across the board for all different things, all different kinds of things,
right.
Left, right, whatever, all over the place.
Right.
And I just think that it's so much harder to get support on an issue, no matter what it is, if it seems like there's reaches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this one kind of teeters on the reach category.
Yeah, and like you said, I'm with you. I absolutely support Colin Kaepernick. I support everything that he stands for and everything that he's working towards and making so much effort for. I absolutely agree. But it's things, we talked about this before, like things like, wearing the socks to practice that have the cops as pigs. It's like things like that. Like, yes, I support there is a problem there, and I support your stance on the issue, but that doesn't help you.
Right. I'm with you 100% on that one. So, not a big deal, but...
I don't have a problem with the, all that. It's whatever.
Did you see... What do you got here?
What were you going to say? Did I see what?
Did you see the tweet that Donald Trump Jr. put out about, well, hey, Nike, if you're not going to put out this shoe, maybe you should put this one out. And it's basically about the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
The comments have been epic. They were like,
unbelievable.
Yo, that shoe is fire. Let me buy one of them. It's fantastic. All right, let me keep blowing through these here. I mean, we got some time, but, I have a lot written down here. Zeke. No suspension for Zeke. Said he didn't actually do anything to go against the personal conduct thing. You could just shove security guards to the ground now?
Apparently.
Hey, here we go again. Jerry Scumbag Jones and his money, and now Roger's afraid. You punk ass. I was just not happy.
Zeke looks like a Neanderthal. He needs to trim his beard and cut his hair. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
He looks like a Neanderthal.
I'm mad that at 6 o'clock and 1 second, 37 deals were made.
Why?
Because you're not supposed to be here's my thing. If you're not going to do anything.
I think the Sixers were the only team that didn't tamper in the NBA.
Well, I'm just saying though, but why? So stop telling me it's this big illegal thing and stop punishing teams for it whenever you feel it's necessary, but then allowing it. To see JJ Redick's name pop up at 6 o'clock and 1 second was absurd to me. It's just either allow it or don't allow it. Don't make this big facade about, oh, no, we are not going to let you do this. You cannot talk to another. Jackass, Kemba Walker's deal was done 3 days ago.
Right.
Or 3 days prior. So that one bothered me. Hey,
in case you haven't figured it out, a lot of things bother up.
That's why this is madness, baby. All right. Shout out. This does not bother me. This makes me happy. Shout out. U.S. women's soccer.
Yes.
Kicking ass, doing what they need to do. Shout out to the soccer team. Shout out to Megan Rapinoe for standing her damn ground.
My girl. Did you see Sue Bird's Player Tribune article?
I haven't read it,
I haven't
but
read
I really
it yet
want
either.
to. I really
Joe read
want
it.
to.
We were in the grocery store yesterday. You know what? That's a story I'll tell. Go ahead.
But shout out to them. 2-1 win over England this close to 4th of July.
Big win.
We kicked them at their ass in 1776, and we did it here again in 2019. So keep going. Good luck on Sunday against, do we know who they're playing yet?
No, that game
might be over.
Actually, it might be over. I'll check now.
Might be over, so we'll check. And and find that one out. So, yeah, U.S. girls, Megan Rapinoe, Alex Morgan, all the girls. I think it's so cool how they made subs yesterday, and it was all the girls that were on the team 4 years ago. So Carly Lloyd gets subbed in. Allie Krieger gets subbed in. Like, it's really awesome to watch this team.
Yeah, I love watching them play.
Yes,
They're so much fun to watch.
they really are.
'Cause they're so good. They're so good.
They are good.
They're so good. They're so much fun. Yeah. We were in the grocery store yesterday morning. So we, for some reason, were wide awake at 6 a.m. yesterday. No reason I know of. And the score is 0-0 of the Netherlands and Sweden game, and they are in extra time. They're in stoppage time right now. So who knows what's going to happen there? That's exciting. And so we were at the grocery store at 8 o'clock. We spent 2 hours in the grocery store because we obviously moved, so we had an empty fridge, empty cabinets, everything. We needed everything. We spent a ridiculous amount of money at the grocery store because we needed all the things, like peanut butter and jelly and ketchup and all the stuff that you only need to buy ever so often, we needed at once. So we were walking around the grocery store, and we were looking for something. I don't remember what. I think we were looking for like breadcrumbs or something, just something small. And I was looking, and Joe was looking one way, and I guess I walked away when he wasn't paying attention. And he was like pointing at something or pointing to an aisle and talking to no one. And someone who worked at Acme had to walk over and be like, she went to that aisle over there. Like, she's not here anymore. She left. And he came and found me, and he was so mad. It was hilarious.
Way to do that to Joe.
It was
Joe, I'm
I
with
didn't
you,
mean
brother.
to.
I am with you, Joe. Okay, I am with you.
Without looking. And then I did it in Target today, actually. And then, but he claims he
Stop
saw
walking
me.
away from the guy.
He actually saw me when I walked
Damn.
away that time.
All right. My last thing that I need to get out there, and it's just something that's come to my attention over the last day or two. There's apparently a new trend going on in supermarkets. Have you seen these videos?
Yes.
If you haven't seen these videos, shocking young jackass kids who love to film everything have decided, wouldn't it be funny if we went down the ice cream aisle of our supermarket, popped into the freezer, pulled a thing out, opened it up, and licked all over the top of it, or grabbed a handful out and ate it, put the lid back on and put it back? What the hell is wrong with our society?
Only buy ice cream with a little plastic wrap around the top.
What is wrong with our society?
I only buy ice cream with
Yeah, but that's a problem because, like, say the Halos, the healthy ice creams are like 300 calories per big tub. They don't put that on there.
And don't buy that kind.
But that's the healthy one.
So stop eating ice cream.
I have no.
No, I know that's easier said than done. I'm with you there.
But
We
come
bought ice cream, and I was
on.
like, the plastic wrap.
But come on, people.
It's so terrible.
This is
It's
ridiculous.
So dumb.
This is just, it's just so stupid. Why are kids so dumb? And if I ever see an adult do it,
Parenting.
I'm punching them square in their mouth. Square in the mouth, they're getting punched.
I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait for that to happen.
That'll be on This Is Man.
That'll be a good one.
Oh my God, I saw these videos. I saw the first one and I'm like, what is this woman doing licking the top of the... I was like, did she just put that back? I was like, oh, this has got to be like a joke. No, it's real. People are doing this. And it annoys me. By the way,
Quick update. The Sixers have officially signed Matisse Thybulle to his rookie contract.
did you just get me excited?
Sorry.
Okay. Quick update tweeted out by @GetUpESPN. Jalen Rose on there today said, what I'm 99% hearing is that Kawhi Leonard will be returning to Toronto. Now, we'll take that for what it's worth, but there's just some more going that way. Seeing if there's anything else. Kawhi Leonard is strongly considering signing a short-term deal to stay with the Toronto Raptors, is what is being said.
Sounds good to me.
All right. This means a lot more fun in the East. We'll battle it out, and
I'll take that.
the best team wins. I think the Sixers are better suited defensively to play against that team. And remember, they were a couple bounces away.
4 doinks away.
Couple bounces away. All right. Well, Jess, should we end it there? Episode
shall.
92?
We shall.
It was fun. Thank you
That
all.
was episode 91.
That too. It was fun. Thank you all for tuning in with us this week. As always, it's It's brought to you by ProSportsNotes.com, powered by Wildfire Radio, where you can catch us Friday morning, 9 to 11. Catch the podcast on iTunes or anywhere podcasts are by searching The Madness with Rob Lange. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube on the Pro Sports Notes channel. Next week, we'll get into another, maybe. It's all about Baby Lange watch right now. So maybe we'll get into another league. We'll maybe introduce a couple new segments, some things I want to talk to Jess about off air. Yeah, not going to bring it to the on air yet. And we'll keep on going. Get over to shop.prosportsnotes.com. As soon as the new shirt drops, we will make sure you see it first on Twitter at Philly_Madness, at RunThisTown13, at JT_media. All right. Jess, have a good week. Enjoy your new apartment.
I will.
All right.
Me too.
And for the rest of you, embrace the madness. Have a good week, everybody.